Hello everyone, I am Kathy from the Boyle County Public Library, and today we have Sherry Carbone, who is the trainer with Mutts with Manners, and Danville's dog whisperer, that's what we call her. This is my dog Chloe. She is a 3.5-year-old American Eskimo. So we are going to show you some things that we've just put together with things that you can do with a little bit of help from somebody that might be a little handy in your house, but also some fun things to do with your dogs that you can do from home, and it can be done very inexpensively. So for instance, this first thing here where Chloe is going to jump in a little bit, it's 2 little baskets that I got at Dollar General, and the pole from a mop that I bought for $1. So you can have that little thing for about $3. And then our handyman at the library helped put this together, which is PVC pipe and a hula hoop. It's a little more detailed than some of the other things, but it's still pretty reasonable to do. We have this little tunnel over here that I just bought in the kids section at Walmart, and I think it was about $13. It actually extends out further. Chloe's not real crazy about it, but with time I think she'll eventually get to it. So I'm going to show you a couple little things that she can do, and we also have some little games that you can get, little puzzle things that your dogs like to play with. Just things, anything that you can spend time with your dogs. That's what they want. They want time with you. Chloe, can you come here? Can you sit, please? Okay. Sit. Wait. Ready? Jump. Good girl. Okay. So if you put treats in here, they can spend a good amount of time just playing around with that to try to get the treat out.
She's got that one.
Yeah, she likes that flippers. Push the ball. She's gonna push it. She bowls like her mom. Oh. So if you put the treat behind it and then have them push it, yay! Good job. Good job, girl.
I was afraid they'd scare her, but they didn't.
No, they didn't. Did good on that. Go in. Good job. Okay, she's just gonna get it on that one and come on out, but I'm not gonna push her on that because she's not real comfortable with it. Jump. Good girl. So that's some fun things that you can do with your dogs. And Sherry, do you have any other things that you want to say about this part?
No, a lot of the agility stuff helps wear your dog out, and you can put things together at home like this. You can do bales of hay, just something for them to climb on and get off, and do short little stays. So you can just be creative, and you can put a board on a couple brick and let them walk across like a dog walk, and just being creative and let them go, because it's a lot of fun for them to get their energy out doing things that makes them use their brain as well. And you'll get a tired dog faster.
And a tired dog is a good dog, right?
Yes, it is. A tired dog's a good dog. She's getting to like all this now.
So if anybody has any questions about the things that we've done, you can feel free to call at the library, and we'll try to get you some instructions and some things together. There's also another thing that we did with pool noodles. Kenzie will have that posted on there as well. We just didn't do it here because we were going to do this outside today, but since it's raining, we had to move indoors. So I hope everybody's having a great summer, and hope you are spending time with your pets that you love so much. Okay, everyone, so today Sherry Carbone with the Mutts with the Manners is visiting us to talk about dogs mainly, because that's what we talk about.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. Sherry is the trainer with Mutts with Manners. She's also, most of us have had one or two or more dogs in her classes, which are wonderful. This is my dog, Chloe.
Yes, you really have to think of your lifestyle before you choose what type of dog you want or what age of dog you want. I've done dogs since I was young, and of course, the puppies are wonderful and it's fun, but when you hit a certain age or you have little kids, it's best not to choose a puppy, because when you have toddlers, the puppy is going to be like adding another toddler to the group, rather than it's going to cause you more grief than it is pleasure when you've got kids you're chasing too, because the puppy would look at the kids as another puppy. So it's going to run and chase and bite at them and jump on them because that's what it thinks it's supposed to do. So most people with toddlers don't really have the time to teach the puppy that that's not something they can do, that they can't put their teeth on little kids, and that that's not a puppy. So it really is wiser, if you've got toddlers, to get a dog that's a year or two old, so that you know what you're getting, and at that age they'll know whether they like kids and are good with kids, and they will respect the kids' boundaries more than a puppy would. So you have less of a chance of your kids not enjoying a dog. They'll enjoy the dog better if they can actually move around and not be knocked down or jumped on or biting.
One of my former dogs that passed away was a Mutts with Manners, and we miss him all the time. Vinny was a wonderful dog.
And that's a good example of getting an older dog.
He was an absolute amazing dog.
Yeah, and some of the old ones are the best ones. I would take every old dog. They are so much different than, and rescuing is different than buying a puppy.
Absolutely.
Because they know they've been saved. So by rescuing something like that, there is a difference. I was shocked at the difference after raising puppies, but there is a difference. They know that they've had
They're just grateful.
chosen.
They are grateful, and I've had several rescue dogs. All my old guys have passed on, but and now I have Chloe and Silas. But
When we get a puppy, we spoil them like we do the kids. Oh, we give them all this stuff. We don't realize the consequence.
my kids say they're worse than they were.
Yeah,
My kids say the dogs get by with more than they did.
when you're raising something, they're overindulged, and when you get a rescue, most of those dogs have not had any of that.
Absolutely.
So they're extremely grateful when they run into a home that will give them that attention. So there's many dogs that go through the shelters that love kids and would be really good dog for a kid. Most dogs are good with the kids. Most breeds adjust to the kids as well. The little tiny dogs are a problem with kids because the people think that that's what they want for a little kid, but it's really causes issues because your little dog is apt to start snapping at the kids in their own protection defense, because kids will try to pick them up or step on them or fall on them, and they're always trying to stay out of the path of the kids so they don't get hurt. And it's hard to teach a 2 or 3 year old not to pick up a dog and cuddle on it. And dogs do not like being pulled into the face or you cuddling with it around its neck. Those are threats to the dog. So you hear of a lot of people with little dogs that snap at the child's face or just snaps at it or stays out of the way. And that's just for its own protection, because they get hurt easily when they're that little. So by getting a medium-sized dog, or even a large dog, they do really well with the kids because the kids aren't going to hurt them like they would a little dog. And like I said, when you've got a little bit of age on them, you can take your kids around them and know whether the dog likes the kids or not. A lot of dogs are very interested and enjoy playing with the kids, especially if they're introduced correctly. And, you know, we have to teach our kids how to respond to dogs and what not to do with dogs. And we see a lot of that not being done. They'll run up to a strange dog, which is a dangerous thing to do. Little kids tend to stare in the eye of a dog, which is a direct threat, and people don't realize that. When I'm working with a dog that has some not really confident around people, I never approach it straight on. I always go sideways, so I'm showing it that I respect their space and don't mean any threatening things towards them. So our language and the dog's language are different. Most of our dogs have adjusted to our language from being raised with our rudeness and the things we do when they're puppies. So they've kind of adjusted to that. Dogs that were rescues that had been maybe raised in a barn and not handled as a puppy and turned upside down and stared in the face and all the things we do with a cute little puppy that desensitizes them to our strange ways for them. Our puppies raised in a house or around people adjust to that. But the puppies that are in a barn and don't go to a home till 3 months or 4 months, that's terrifying for them, because as far as staring in their face or pulling their face up to ours, that's a direct threat. That's like we're threatening them, and they'll respond that way. And so I tell people it's always best approaching a dog to not go into the dog's space, but invite the dog into your space. So it's the dog's choice if it feels comfortable enough to come to you and interact. And that's going to make it much easier on both of you, because you'll know that the dog is okay with coming to say hi. When you have a litter of, we raise Rottweiler puppies, they're as different as we are as people in that litter. But there are similarities in the breed itself. So Rottweilers generally are going to push against your body because that's what they're bred to do in herding. They should be a little bit questioning of new people because that's what they're bred to do. Again, you'll get dogs that don't have that, what they're bred to do. They, you know, like you have a Rottie litter and people think that they can be police dogs and be Schutzhund dogs and protection dogs. When you evaluate that litter, you're lucky, if you're actually breeding for that, you're lucky to have 2 puppies that are really good at that. And the other puppies would be pets because they don't have the, they're not strong enough in nature of confidence yet to be that. So there's where we get so many nice pets for homes, no matter what breed, because even though they're breeds that are bred to do certain things, some of them are a lot better at it than the others. And you want to choose your dog. Herding dogs are hard because they have a lot of energy and they do want to herd your kids or you or anything else. So you have to remember what breeds you're getting. They have instinctive things that they're going to want to do. Little dachshunds digging.
Oh, yes.
You get a lot of
Jack
that.
Russell's
Yeah.
to dig.
Yeah. The breeds that are bred to go underground and dig are going to want to dig. When you're looking at breeds too, it's best to look genetically what they carry, the problems.
Oh,
Some
yes,
dogs
like
are
hip
really,
dysplasia
yeah,
and things
hip
like that.
dysplasia and eye issues that some of the little dogs really carry some major eye problems that you need to be aware of. And it's hard for us to realize the eye problems because oftentimes you don't see them. And you know, when we go to the eye doctor, we don't realize how our eyes are changing until
Right.
they tell us. And it's the same with the dogs. They need to see an eye doctor because sometimes that's the, you know, problems that you might be having even with your dog fearful of something. It may be the eye changing and not so much your dog.
Some dogs require a whole lot more grooming than others. Now, Chloe, and I have Chloe's brother, half-brother, Silas, I brush them daily. But if I don't, they tend to they can get like little mats behind their ears, or just you'll have hair everywhere. And some people that, if they have allergies, or some people just get tired of the dog hair in the house, and there's been dogs that they've gotten rid of just for that reason.
Mhm.
And the expense of grooming can get pretty expensive.
Yes, we're seeing a big influx of the Labradoodles and Golden Doodles, and actually anything doodle, Aussie doodle, Sheepadoodle, they're everything. And the problem with that has been the grooming end is people need to know that it's probably gonna cost you $350 or about every 3 months at the most to keep your dog from being matted. And they can go a long time without you realizing they're matting at the skin and not on top. And that's one of the issues that is hard, because you think the dog looks fine, you can put your fingers through it, you really don't feel the mats. But when they get it to the groomer, you come pick up a bald dog because they had to take it to the skin to get rid of the mats that were hiding underneath that no one was even aware of. So when you get a dog, be aware of the cost you might entail in grooming and those types of things, because they have to have like hair from their ears pulled, which many breeds don't, but your poodles generally do have to have that. So it's harder to do your own dog nails when you've got all that hair. And dogs that are smooth coated aren't as hard. One of the tricks we used to use when we show dogs is to put a nylon over the dog's foot and stick the nail through, so that you can Dremel tool, you can file the nails without catching hair. So that was the way that they would do it there without having to go to a groomer or trimming the hair. There's not an option of trimming on some of the show dogs. They need that hair there. So. With the COVID issue, what scares me the most is so many of the dogs got through that and haven't been socialized. And they're used to having someone home at the time, which starts the separation anxiety thing when you do go back to work, because all of a sudden they've had someone there 24/7 and now they're all leaving. So the dog gets anxious. So before you have to do that, the smart thing is to go through all the actions that you would leaving the house and not leave the house. So you're taking the triggers away of picking up your keys and your purse and starting to head out the door. I like to pick up my keys and purse and then put them down and stay home.
Oh, that's great.
And then just go out the door, walk around the house, or get the mail and come back in. So I'm desensitizing them to me leaving and, being gone 8 hours. So they know that it's not a worry, you're coming back and everything's fine, rather than just surprising them and leaving. The other thing that I've seen is car rides. A lot of them are not wanting to get in cars and wanting to go places. And you saw that somewhat earlier, but you're seeing it a whole lot more. And if you think about it, most of the time your dogs get in a car, it's to the vet. So it's not a fun excursion when they go. So they start associating bad things with the car. And then some of them have car sickness or get movement issues in there. And the best way to handle that is to have your dog have a little exercise of getting in the car, getting a treat or a bone or something they really like, but not going anywhere. Put them in there, let them have some fun in there, and then take them out. So get them used to going into a car for fun things. And then they don't have to go for a ride yet. Let them get comfortable in the car before they get in the ride and want to feel like they have to get sick in the car. And then when you do take them for their first ride, make it a short ride to the to a park or to some of the local places that will give you a little ice cream pup treat for they love going and getting a little pup cup.
Yes.
So you just want to relate good things to those things instead of a bad.
Well, we hope you all have enjoyed this today and learned some things. And like I said, if y'all have any questions about the obstacle course and want any ideas, and we found a lot of stuff on YouTube. And but if you have any questions, feel free to call us at the library. And I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chloe.